In advance of Memorial Day, I'd like to take a moment to honor and observe our veterans, our active military, and your families for the price you pay every day to keep us safe. Thank you so much. Those that paid the ultimate price, there isn't enough thanks. There aren't enough words. Thank you for your service. Thank your families for your service. Thank you for keeping us safe. I wish I had more than words. Words aren't enough. Thank you so much. Looks like in Washington, the debt ceiling negotiation's turning into a hostage negotiation. And I think I figured out how the Federal Reserve lives their life. A lot like Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. Condo paid for, no car payment, because otherwise they would stop raising rates. And the housing market, summer blockbuster coming up, big movie. It's called Rates vs. Values. Who's going to blink first? Welcome back to This Week in Mortgage, everybody. My name is Sam Battaglia at Mortgage Black in Beverly Hills. Hope you had a good week. All right, the debt crisis clearly has turned into a hostage negotiation. Those aren't my words. Turn the TV on. Couple quick little notes. This isn't cool to do to the U.S. consumer, your constituents, your voters. Millions of jobs in peril, Social Security checks. I don't even know what else, and I don't want to find out. All I know is folks need to play nice with each other in the sandbox in Washington and figure this out as the clock is ticking. Moving on to the Federal Reserve. Condo paid for, no car payment. Notorious B.I.G. once said. I guess that's the life they live, not like the rest of us, because otherwise they would stop raising rates. A couple quick notes about the Fed that I've observed over the last 25 years since I've been watching this stuff. The Federal Reserve manages by crisis. I don't think this is my opinion. I believe this is a fact. They never get ahead of anything, and they're usually wrong. That's why everything they do in either direction is so hasty. Another observation. I believe if I was in charge of the Federal Reserve, that it would be my job to turn the heat down, not to turn the heat up, like they keep doing with all these non-logical trial balloons they keep throwing out there. We've got banks failing, this, that, and this, and they're still talking about raising rates. Give me a break. Give it up. Please stop. Another note for the Federal Reserve. Raising interest rates is not Novocaine. Enough Novocaine when you go to the dentist eventually works, but ask the dentist, when the Novocaine stops working, what happens to the patient if you keep giving it to them? You can actually kill the patient if you keep giving them Novocaine. So I'd say to the Federal Reserve, if the 500 basis points you've raised in the last 14, 15 months, whatever it is now, if that hasn't brought down the price of a bag of potato chips, nothing is going to bring down the price of a bag of potato chips. The next 25, the next 50, the next 100, it literally doesn't matter. But if 500 basis points isn't doing it, no amount of basis points is doing it. I have a question. I've heard this term this week on TV, that the Federal Reserve might have a substitute rate hike. Honestly, now they're just making things up, just to sound smart like a lot of people do every day. What's a substitute rate hike? I mean, honestly, come on, just stop. There is no such thing. Quit raising rates. Back to my point, if 500 basis points doesn't do it, no amount of basis points are going to do it. But here's the thing about the Federal Reserve. I could be completely wrong, and I'll tell you why. The Federal Reserve might have a common understanding amongst themselves that we, the U.S. consumer / the U.S. economy, is indeed Pavlov's dog. Meaning, if they cut interest rates, the economy will be fine. Maybe they know something that we don't know, and maybe they've dialed in on human nature more so than the rest of us have, because I know right now's human nature is not happy. But if the Federal Reserve knows they have us on a string, the joke could be on me, the joke could be on us. We are Pavlov's dog, and they can ring the bell, and we will react. Let's see if they ring that bell of cutting interest rates anytime soon. Moving on to the housing market. Big summer blockbuster coming up. It's called Rates vs. Values. Tagline, who is going to blink first? All right, well, there's some good news about the housing market. Mortgage delinquencies are at an all-time low. Makes a lot of sense. Who is going to put their 3% or less 30-year fixed mortgage in peril? I don't think anybody if they can avoid it. We are indeed having a crisis in banking right now, not a banking crisis. Remember that, a crisis in banking, not a banking crisis. That's why things are still somewhat liquid. We'll get to that. This was the first week in a while that I quoted in the sevens again on certain non-owner occupied scenarios. Sevens are lucky in life, but not lucky in mortgages. So we're going to call these the unlucky sevens. And I'll tell you why rates are a little bit disjointed from the 10-year. So right now, every bank out there does not want to end up like Silicon Valley or First Republic or Signature Bank. So what are they doing? They are raising cash. Well, they can't necessarily tell you to pay your mortgage off or tell you to pay your car loan off or tell you to pay your credit card off. They can't raise the cash that way. They'll just take your payments on their scheduled monthly basis. But what they can do is sell their assets. They have been selling their mortgage-backed security assets in droves, which has created a disconnect between reality and the mortgage market. There's a huge premium on new mortgage money these days because right now the banks have put all the old mortgage money that is proven and performing out there. So how do you incentivize somebody to buy something that's unproven, that's new to the market, meaning a new mortgage that's originated today? You make the rate higher than the old one they can buy that's performing. Pretty basic. If you believe in the U.S. housing market on a long-term basis, right now is a terrific time to buy mortgage-backed securities, whether they are new or old mortgage-backed securities, because as I always say, this too shall pass. Okay, everybody, that is my show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Honor those around you. Take care of each other. Be a good neighbor. You know, all the stuff we were taught when we were kids. Thank you as always for your time.